looking to maximize your scores by focusing on the top 3 high yield question types or concepts that appear on the SAT math section, you're going to want to apply one of our core strategies in order to get the most out of those questions. The core strategy that I think works best with math concepts, especially on the SAT, is our reading strategy. Now, the reading strategy starts with the idea that every question on the SAT math is a word problem, essentially. Some questions are longer in terms of the word problem than others. However, the vast majority of questions on the SAT math are in fact word problems. And they're not your typical word problems like you would see in school. These problems are specifically designed to trick you. In other words, they're more similar to the types of questions you see in the reading and writing sections on the evidence-based reading and writing part of the test. They're essentially inference questions. So if you're going to be asked to infer information, you have to figure out what they're asking you to look for. And that's what the reading strategy does. The reading strategy focuses on helping you find the specific clues or hints in the question, what we call the SPY, in order to identify what the question is asking and then how you're supposed to answer it. Let's take a look at a specific question on a real SAT. Once again, this is the official SAT practice test number 2, originally published by the College Board and made available to the public in 2015. This is section 3, the no calculator section. And we're going to be looking at question number 3. Now, as you can probably tell based on what you can see on the page right here, question number 3 is in fact a quite complicated word problem. It's significantly longer than any of the other questions on this page. Additionally, you might notice that unlike several of the other questions, the answer choices are not real numbers. They're in fact sentences. Once again, they're not even algebra expressions or other types of math answers. They're sentences. So we're going to utilize the reading strategy in order to best understand what this question is asking us to do and how to do it. And then we're going to see how we can apply that to the top 3 most common math concepts or high yield areas on the test. So first, we have to read the question. So I'm going to read the question out loud to you. A landscaping company estimates the price of a job in dollars using the expression 60 plus 12 NH, where N is the number of landscapers who will be working, and H is the total number of hours the job will take using N landscapers. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 12 in the expression? So the first thing to realize is that almost every question on the SAT math has a clue word that tells you what math concept you're going to be using. In this case, there's a math vocabulary word, expression, which tells us that we're going to be setting up some sort of algebra equation. Except the answer choices don't look like equations. So that's not really what the question is asking us to do, even though it seems to be telling us to do that. So what is the question actually asking us to do? Well, let's go to the question. Here's the actual question part of the question. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 12 in the expression? So they want the best interpretation of a value in the expression. They want us to interpret information rather than answer it or solve it. So what information is useful or valuable? Well, according to the reading strategy, we have to find the keywords, clues, or hints in the question that tell us what the question is looking for. Now, obviously, most word problems involve some sort of story. In this case, a landscaping company and landscapers. That's not really important, except for maybe to involve some sort of logic. But we're not really worrying about logic. We're just trying to figure out what the question is asking. So we really don't care about the story. That's not what's important. We don't even care about the units so much as the information that helps us solve what we're looking for. In this case, we know it's an expression, and they in fact give us the expression, 60 plus 12 NH. Then they give us information about the variables. N is the number of landscapers. So it's the total number of people who will be working. H represents the total number of hours the job will take using N landscapers. Great. So now we know what our variables represent. N is the number of landscapers, H is the number of hours. So we want to find the value 12. What does it represent in this expression? So we can now use part of our reading strategy to help us eliminate bad answer choices. When I say bad answer choices, I mean ones that are obviously not going to be the answer. Let me give you an example. So we have answer choice B. Answer choice B says a minimum of 12 landscapers will work on each job. Well, we don't know that. In fact, according to the question, N is the number of landscapers, N is a variable, so the number of landscapers on this job will be variable. It will not be exactly a minimum of 12. That phrase, a minimum of 12 landscapers, proves this answer choice wrong. That phrase, we even have a special name for that phrase in the reading strategy. And that name for that phrase is the double agent. The double agent, just like in a good spy movie, is the thing that betrays the bad guy to help you, the good guy. So the double agent in an answer choice on the SAT math or any SAT section is a word or phrase in an answer choice that helps you prove that answer choice wrong, that betrays that answer choice to help you eliminate it, which is what we're going to do right now. We're going to eliminate answer choice B. There's another one where we can do exactly the same thing. Answer choice D. Each landscaper works 12 hours a day. But according to the question, H is a variable for the total number of hours that the job will take. So once again, the number of hours is variable. It's not exactly 12. So that phrase, each landscaper works 12 hours a day, is its own double agent, eliminating D. So we've eliminated the two more obviously wrong answer choices, the bad answers. Now we've got two answer choices left. One of them will be the correct answer, and one of them is wrong. But as we look at these two answers, one thing you should notice is they sound pretty much alike. They sound pretty similar. A says the company charges $12 per hour for each landscaper. C says the price of every job increases by 12 hours. Those two answer choices sound pretty similar because here's the problem, they're both true. But only one of them is the right answer. You see, one of the ways that the test writers on the SAT try and trick students is by using fact-based errors. In fact, I'm going to write that down for you to help you remember it. Fact-based errors. See, a fact-based error is when the test writers use a factually true statement in the answer choices, but that factually true statement doesn't actually answer the question. So if I asked you what you think the name of the person is who's hit the most home runs in baseball history, that is a question that can be answered with a factual answer. The name of the person who's hit the most home runs in baseball history. And you answer, did you know that the most ordered ice cream in the United States is not chocolate, but in fact vanilla? That is a fact. I've looked it up. But it doesn't answer the question of who's hit the most home runs in baseball history. That is, in fact, the great Japanese baseball player, Sadaharu Oh. So just because a statement is a fact doesn't mean it answers the question. Also, if you're not interested in ice cream and or baseball, you might not know the answer to either of those questions. In this case, though, we know that both of those statements are based in something that sounds true. We have an expression, 60 plus 12NH, and we have two statements. The company charges $12 per hour for each landscaper, and the price of each job increases by $12. The problem is one of them is wrong because it's a fact-based error. Let's take a look at why. You see, they've given us an expression of 60 plus 12NH. Well, an expression doesn't give you the answer. What they're looking for in the question is they want to know the price of a job in dollars. That would be the result, the answer. And that doesn't show up in the expression. Now, if you were to actually write this like algebra, it would probably look something like this. In order to turn an expression into an equation that you can solve and answer, you need to have an equal sign and something on the other side of the equal sign. That's basic rules of math. But they didn't put that in the question. But they did tell us about it. You see, in the question they said, The landscaping company is estimating the price of a job in dollars. In other words, they're trying to figure out the answer using this expression. So they really want eventually to know the why. They want to know the answer. But this question isn't asking you to find the answer, it's asking you to find what this represents. So the price of every job increase by $12 per hour. So answer choice C, the price of every job increases by $12 per hour, is talking about the answer. The price is the why, not the 12. And that eliminates C, leaving us with answer choice A. The company charges $12 per hour for each landscaper. So $12 per hour per landscaper, that kind of looks like what's written over here. $12 per hour per landscaper. So that's the hourly rate that the landscapers earn. And that means that answer choice A is our best answer using the reading strategy. Now, of course, you and I took quite a long time to do this question, which is probably not a question that would take that much time on the real SAT, but my goal was to show you how to use the reading strategy, how to break down a question, looking for those keywords and phrases, looking for, once again, what we call the SPY, the clue or clues or hints in the question that tell you what to do and what you're looking for. So that's the reading strategy.